There were about 6 different character sketches to start off with. And all of these were sent to Stephen King for approval. He actually sent me an email after looking at the character sketches, because he loved all of them, but he loved Fran the best. He said, this is exactly how I saw Fran when I first started writing the novel, which for me was just the biggest compliment ever, really. You're always terrified with adaptations. I don't know if you come across this as well, Mike, where you're dealing with a novel that millions of people have read, and each one of those people has their own imagination of how they've seen the characters. So it's terrifying in a way. You are competing against everybody's imagination. So for Stephen King to actually say, basically, screw everyone else, this is how I saw the character, was a great compliment.
So you did 6 character sketches and you got 1 out of 5 or 6?
Yeah, that's right.
So we can move on to the next one. We got it.
Okay, sometimes this is one of those cases where sometimes we'll draw the rough sketch, and then we'll take it to the finished pencils and then the inks colored. Sometimes you have an image, like I said, with covers. Sometimes you have an image in your head which is the perfect image with which to tell the story.
I think the image actually stayed in your mind when you do this.
So that was my rough. I actually sent it to Marvel. I said, this is a rough for this page.
Anyone who wants to do a guess what this is? Those who have read the book, you can at least have some kind of knowledge of it. Mike Carey, can you guess what this is?
Okay, let me just point some stuff out here. Okay. Okay. I can see what it is. Okay. This is a chair. This is a little head, and this is a big head. Okay? Let's go to the next one.
Okay. And the solution is?
That's the solution.
Anybody see that one?
Should we go back? Should we go back?
Okay.
You see? Good baby. This is snot over here.
Did you ever get that one for the first place?
No. I sold that one for massive amounts of money.
You could probably make copies of it, still doing it, so
yeah.
You wouldn't know.
Did you ever show it to Howard Chaykin? What did he say?
Oh no, I haven't. I have to show him. Actually, this was the one I was talking about in the seminar. This image came on the. This was one little panel at the bottom of the page, of a page of 6 other panels, and this was the first view of the. Not this. This wasn't the first view. This was the first view of the Sue virus, the Captain Trips virus that we saw. And this was going to be a little tiny panel at the bottom of the page. And I was like, are you insane? There's no way we can introduce this like this. I tried to play around with different layouts of making the thing bigger, but I knew that we had to have a full-size image. We had to have a full page of this. Just for the shock value. And it had to be on the turn of a page, which they screwed up, unfortunately. And it was on the right-hand side of a 2-page thing.
Another small question for the audience. How many of you have not read The Stand, either the comic or the book? Is there anybody who hasn't read it? After seeing this one, how many of you wants to read it? There you go.
Excellent. I don't know when there's going to be a Norwegian version. They've just brought out a Dark Tower, right? In Norwegian, I think. So hopefully soon they'll bring out The Stand as well.
I knew the time they would have done it now since you're in Norway, but maybe they're planning to have Stephen King over. I wouldn't mind having him next year.
So yeah, so this is one of those images which has to be one of those images that sells books. It's the money shot. That's what we were talking about in the seminar. It's the shot. Sorry. No. It's a shot which sells that comic.
And This image could have been written by Mike Carey, I think. It's like the gooey exorcism things. Okay, we're moving on to some more images from the stand. This is a lot of covers, and
these were the first 5 variant covers of the first arc of the stand. And we discussed them because there were variant covers. We discussed the situation of having the 5 covers all together in one big image. One of the main parts at the beginning of the stand is Larry's escape from New York through the Lincoln Tunnel. So when I was in New York, I took photos of the Lincoln Tunnel, took photos of Larry's journey from Central Park to the Lincoln Tunnel. So everything is spot on. I think you said in your talk earlier about horror is more realistic if you use a real place setting, and that's what I wanted to do. So I took photos. As I said in the seminar, that if you take photos of all these places, the trip becomes tax deductible. So that's a good thing.
But the one thing I had, when I looked at this image first time, it's like, it's very put together when you think of these like 5 different ones. But it doesn't happen in the book. Not all of these characters ever was in New York, which the setting slightly looked like. Nick and those were not in New York.
Well, Larry was the only one who was there.
Yes.
I'm sure Randolph Flagg was there at some point.
Yeah.
So really, this is showing the major characters on one cover each. This was actually put together as a cover on. It was like a variant cover on the first collection. They actually did a poster of it as the cover.
And I guarantee when you read the book, you will know, just by looking at this, you will know who the different character is. Trashman, Larry, and always Nick. And there's no trouble identifying these people. So,
worryingly enough, Harold, who's the guy over here in the glasses, he freaks me out. He's a very quiet guy with hidden evil in a way. He was never accepted by anybody, and he basically turns to the dark side, shall we say. Even though it was in him anyway.
Don't spoil the ending now. You know there's so many who wants to read this one. He's telling the ending.
No, but weirdly enough, Roberto Guayacacata, who writes the adaptation, he identifies most with Harold. So that freaked me out a little bit, I've got to tell you that.
Well, probably Mike Carey will do as well. He's like twisted mind. Maybe Randall Flagg. Is that your? Yep. He's cool. He looks cool.
I actually identified in the novel most with Larry, who's tormented in a way. He doesn't know whether to be good, doesn't know whether to be bad. Lots of people identify with different characters within the stand, because really Stephen King is a fantastic character writer. I didn't know this before reading the book. I'd read a few of his books beforehand, but I read through the book, and I don't really see him so much as a horror writer anymore, because I've listened to so many of his audiobooks while I've been working on the stand. And he just writes character books which have horrific situations within them. That's the way I see it. I think he's very badly pigeonholed as a horror writer. But saying that, if you've ever read Full Dark, No Stars, which was his latest anthology, that's just harsh. That's just pure horror, because it's all situations which people could find themselves in. I
have one question when it comes to stand. Now you work like 31 issues, and
I've got 3 issues left now. That's it. I'm closing in on the end.
Did you like the stand?
Did I like working on it?
No, not like working on it. You liked the story.
Oh yeah, definitely. Otherwise, I don't think I would have pursued it.
Yeah, because if you ask 2 different people, he lost it in the end. It ends bad. It should have ended sooner. It should have ended later.
Right.
What was your opinion? Did you think it's the conclusion?
No. I think like Stephen King himself said that he kind of got lost a little bit. he was talking about the society in Boulder and how to create a society. I think that's a big wedge of the book about building up a new society in Boulder, and he totally got lost. He didn't know what to do with the characters. Didn't have any clue how the story was going forward, and he left it for a few years.